Ever wonder what your day would be like with Boom Radio? Yep, us too. We don't think about nightmares.
Your paper is in the microphone. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Microphone or camera, you mean?
Both.
Oh.
Good morning, good afternoon. Okay. Jesus Christ. Oh Lord. Oh Jesus.
Dolupo.
Sorry for the. What did Dolupo do? How is it Dolupo?
Kill me today.
In this life.
My producer is very, very active, overactive today. Shola. Is he there?
More travel.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the boombar wherever you're listening or watching us live from Lagos State. It is interesting, the things that have been going on, and oh God, you can lift what you want.
It's Dolupo again that did that.
It's Dolupo again.
The first one is Dolupo.
Now it's Dolupo again.
Dolupo again.
Why are you all after me?
You need minimum wage in your life.
Minimum wage increment.
I didn't know about Bamoria.
No, make you first see the minimum before increment. Is he a judicial officer?
God. Interestingly, it's going to be a lot of money matters today. Okay. The labor is in the news, but before we get to the labor, judicial issues are out there in the news today as well. There is a lot of backing of a salary raise for the judiciary. Also, like I said, there's a lot of gist from the minimum wage angle that we're going to be talking about as well. They have released a few ultimatums, so we'll see where that is going. All right, so also the bit of news coming from Ekiti State. There's some university rules out there. There's a monarch that might end in jail. Also, there are a few updates coming from the student loan
NELFUND.
The NELFUND that is I think is going to be up by Friday, so we'll be talking about that as well. A few updates coming from Iran and a few things around the world as well. A few not very nice stories and a few sports stories if time permits us. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. So as we start today's show today, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Finance Minister, and a few others have also now backed a 300% salary raise for judicial officers across the country. So I know the conversations started from talks of merging the state and federal salaries around the country. Now, the National Judicial Council had recommended a 300% raise in salaries of judicial officers. Now, this is backed by the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the Minister of Finance, and Coordinating Minister of the Economy. They've all proposed a 300% increase in salaries and allowances of judicial officers across the country. The Attorney General had expressed displeasure, what he termed as neglect in the remuneration of judicial officers in close to 17 years.
17?
Yeah, so this was where they were talking to the Senate. And basically what they had recommended was, what they're basically saying is that with this, it really, really makes the judiciary autonomous.
Was it at the same function referred to as judicial rascality or something? He was referring, said it will stop or decrease judicial rascality among
It's possible.
among judges.
It's possible.
And I started asking myself, what is judicial rascality? Okay, that's another level, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
That one I don't know.
But 300%, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I think that, for me, I think the major issue is that I don't think that is such a bad thing, because looking at it is if the government can afford it, why not? The judiciary is such a very integral part, is a major tier of government, and there's always the conversation of inducement and all that, and it's always a thing that at least if they're being remunerated really well, a lot of what we allege conversations of bribe and all that might even not be so, what's the word now, juicy anymore.
Okay.
Once they know that they already get paid properly.
Do you think it will stop?
I think it will reduce drastically, yes.
It will reduce?
Yes.
But it would not terminate completely?
I don't think you can terminate anything, because
because
bad people there will always be bad eggs in the system.
I was about to say that, Dolupo. Yes, I was about to say that. Because we have corruption in high places. And those high places really are places where there's a little bit of warmth around how much they take home. And you still carry out what they want to carry out, if at all. But you hit something which is important. Judiciary is an important tier of the government system. And there should be a lot more believability about their function. And people will have a lot more credit, They will be comfortable taking cases there. They will be comfortable respecting judiciary decisions of the judges. And they would that also debar judges from pushing cases beyond the limits? Would it encourage the rate at which judges decide on cases? Okay?
We don't know.
Those things still dangle. They still dangle. But yeah, more pay, I don't say anything wrong in that. But questions about our 40K still dangles, 30K for the workers still dangles, and so many other things, yeah.
If you understand how Nigeria used to be when, Tokunbo was running the town in the 70s.
No, I didn't start running in the 70s, Shola. I started running from the 60s. Excuse me.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
I want to correct that before
you are off point. That's not what I'm referring. I'm not talking about when
then
you started.
Then don't use me as the point of contact.
You are the example.
Oh, Lord.
You are the example.
No, excuse me, please.
Sue me. The lawyers and
I don't need
judges
a lawyer
are getting
to
more
sue
money
you.
now.
Excuse me.
Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted by Tokunbo of the 60s and 70s. If you understand how things were in the 70s when Tokunbo was running the town, him and his men, they were running the town.
Military men.
Lecturers were well paid. They were one of the best paid people, and it was a glorious thing if you wanted to be a lecturer. The same thing for the judiciary. We more or less allowed everything go to waste, and where is the sense that in 17 years there's no salary review for the judiciary? No. We must not take this thing in isolation. The salary upgrade is just a tiny aspect of the judicial reforms that Nigeria requires. We saw it. We saw that revolution in Lagos when courtrooms were upgraded, where judicial quarters were upgraded, where the official vehicles of the judges were provided for them. Some of them never had those things and all of that. And we keep talking about how there's prison congestion, how there's a backlog of legal cases, but a lot of people don't want to go to the bench because they've seen the people on the bench and they're not impressed.
Good,
And if they stay at the bar, like this type of bar now.
No, not here.
Like this type of bar, some people will drink stout and some will drink water. You understand? So you are aspiring to drink stout like Tokunbo, while some of us are still just
now you say I shouldn't go to court now.
Water. I said sue me.
I will go to court.
This is the second case.
Okay.
Sue me.
All right.
But what we're saying, in real terms is that when I saw that Lagos model, which more or less started under Bola Tinubu, the reinvigoration
they also
and the restructuring.
They also digitalized or computerized the system. I remember they stopped the longhand
Yes, they did.
generation.
Yes,
Right.
they did. And,
Right.
COVID also led them to doing a few virtual cases, and they moved to that level. And that's why I've been advocating, even before that, for the judges to also move to the prisons and, expedite action on cases. In essence, that is what you expect for the general populace and the larger body called Nigeria, where, judges are well paid and reduces the risk of inducement. Look, a bad person is a thief is a thief is a thief. But you see, a person who is honest, who gets paid, and the remuneration is what, there was a joke that our lecturers had in their offices back in the 90s, and they say that my salary is so small, my take-home pay cannot take me home. There was something like that. There was a sticker that they had.
It was even that, general,
that my take-home pay
can't take me home.
Cannot take me home, and they call it take-home pay. You can't even use it to transport yourself. It shows you the rot that's set in. I blame the military for a lot of these things, but what did the civilians do when they took over power in '99? Because 17 falls into the civilian category, and they didn't do anything. So why would the judges not get this? And again, what it means is that we should use that as a parameter and a yardstick. The minimum wage was not, I'm not sure it was set 17 years ago. And even if it was, I don't care. What I care about now is that let's use the same energy. The military, there are rumblings, and because they are very disciplined, we should not take them for granted. The military personnel also require this kind of upgrade. The doctors also require this kind of upgrade. A sector by sector, infusion of improved salary will go a long way towards getting the best results that we want in this country. So when we are done with getting the judiciary their 300% upgrade, let's also look at the other sectors that we have mentioned. So in bringing it home, this same 300% parameter should be used for the minimum wage across board.
Yes.
I'm talking federal now, because I know that the states, like we said, is one of the stories that we're going to look at today. Labour shouting that they want 600,000 when some states cannot even pay 30.
They've not paid that one.
They've not paid 30.
They've not paid it.
I want to say,
and the same Labour,
not being real.
The same Labour wants to go on protest. For those that have not paid 30.
So yes,
they're not being real. They're not being real.
Since we're talking about that, since we're dovetailing,
no, there's something Sola talked about.
Yes,
and I think
that's what
that's
what we're dovetailing into. So the Labour, first things first, they're talking about how states need to. They're giving states 2 weeks to start paying. Some states apparently up until now are still not paying the 30,000 naira minimum wage. On the other hand, they're saying that by May 31st, they're going to go on some industrial action.
Yes.
If there is no announcement of new minimum wage, keep in mind, they do not want the new proposed minimum wage. They're still standing on the 615,000.
No, they're sitting on it. Actually.
Explain how it makes sense if some states up until now cannot or are not, don't let me say cannot, are still not paying 30,000 naira minimum wage, and you want them to pay 615,000 naira.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, you know something. I don't know why we always look away from some realities. Now, who is in charge? Which ministry or minister is in charge of this?
The Ministry of Labour.
Thank you. Labour.
And Labour. There's Ministry of Finance.
The Labour Ministry and the Labour Minister, right, by extension, have been in existence since this regime came in. And before this regime came in, and during this time, particularly now, states have not been able, some states have not been able to make 30. I wonder where we are all heading to.
Okay,
people
so
say
if
they cannot
to answer that question, I don't think the Labour Ministry, the Federal Labour Ministry, cannot compel states.
It's not about compelling for me now. Are questions being asked, Oga, what is wrong with your state?
Oh, there is a standing committee that involves the states and the federal.
How often do they talk about these things?
There is a standing committee.
They have a standing committee. Do they communicate it?
But they can't compel them.
No,
that's
it's not,
the thing.
It's not compelling. He's asking questions.
Even if you ask questions and you can't compel, there's nothing you can do about it. If states don't...
Let's start something from somewhere. Listen. Labor. Give it to them. I don't give it to them sometimes because Dolupo have a word for them. I don't give it as well. But the fact is that people want to find out why some states are capable of paying the 30K and some states cannot pay the 30K.
The honest truth is that I think that people, some states are more viable than others.
So viability...
Why do we now peg it at 30?
Viability is a reality.
Yeah.
But let us also now take the current reality into cognizance.
Okay.
The current reality that the day this president removed subsidies on fuels,
they're getting paid more.
The monies and allocations going to the states more or less tripled, in some cases doubled. So if you're saying that you were not viable up until June last year, because that money must have started hitting their accounts in June, not May.
They have been clapping for it.
So if you're saying that your state was not viable, but from June last year, if you were serious about increasing the people's salaries or meeting the minimum wage, which is the barest minimum. However, let us always remind everybody that is watching and listening that nobody earns a minimum wage.
Yeah.
The minimum wage is just a benchmark.
Just a benchmark.
So when they're saying...
federal or states.
Absolutely.
When they're saying that, they want to pay 30K, remember, nobody is level one to collect 30K.
No, they won't get
understand?
there. They won't get there.
So what we're saying in essence, is that the states being viable is no longer an excuse based on the increased. I'm not saying that they should use everything for recurrent expenditure. We know that there are capital expenditures and also debts and liabilities that they must pay. However, everything must be structured to reflect across board. That's what makes you a serious government. Because you're the one that employed them. And you cannot come and sack them en masse now because the previous governor brought them in. That's one of the ways that we drive the economy through providing jobs and creating an enabling environment.
Yes.
So the viability story of states should have ended in June of 2023
because of the
increase. And we're not even talking IGR now. We're talking allocations.
Allocations, right?
We're talking allocations. So it will shock you when you look at some states that are on the list of states that are not paying this 30,000 naira minimum wage. And again, it is unrealistic of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Nigerian Labour Trade Union Congress to claim that much money as what they are expecting. So again, this is me. Call me a fearmonger. I don't
the
mind.
615, right?
Yes. Call me a fearmonger. I don't mind. I am advising people who live in this country, who are Nigerians, within now and the end of the month, please show up on your food supply. I don't advise people to store petrol because it's dangerous, but food, you must have food, especially the non-perishable ones. Try your best because
why?
These guys are just spoiling for a fight.
Yes, I think they're spoiling for a fight. But
they have tried
several
times, and they are going to go on this fight. And
when do we come back to reality?
I'm predicting
that's my question.
Sorry, I'm predicting that the government.
I like this.
I'm predicting that government will not play ball.
Government will not play ball.
Can government even play ball? Can they?
Do they have the capacity
to play ball?
So what happens? What happens when they say if you don't give us 600,000 minimum wage, we're going to call for a strike? And government says I can't give you more than 45,000 minimum wage. What do you think happens?
No. Oh, do I think that a strike is coming? Yes, I think that there's a strike
my own
coming.
now is I'm advising you because again, if you wait until the last minute, the exploitative nature of Nigerian businessmen will kick in. Everything that you think you want to buy at normal rate will go up because they know that people will want to
without the announcements.
So go now. Don't wait.
Before this idea of we shoot it up to 600 clinic or 440, the food thing has not come down. It has always been expensive. I'm getting somewhere. It has always been high.
Okay.
Now, from past experiences, which I love the way Shola started it, okay, this discussion, it took us way back, 70s, 80s and stuff. There was one award they came out with, if Shola recollects. They called it Udoji Award. Udoji was so well laid on the platform that everybody knew where the money was coming from and what was coming to you at the end of the day as a civil servant. By the way, so many people went to borrow money waiting for Udoji in those days. They saw the picture, they saw the graphic numbers, and they went up. They borrowed money from banks, anticipating Udoji. Udoji eventually came, okay? And people looked at the difference. This thing is not. But that was not the story. The story was that before Udoji got into people's accounts, what was accruing to you, before it came out, everything in the market was expensive.
Exactly. So
everything in the market was damn expensive.
So if we look at that, even though there is no reasonable argument for why it happened, at that time, but it happened.
It was the same Nigerian factor.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, there is no empirical formula of why it should happen.
But the Nigerian factor was, go ahead.
Now that's what my issue is. So if that's going to happen, imagine when you increase minimum wage to 615,000. We're talking about the inflation right now. Imagine the kind of inflation. How are they going to pump that kind of money into the system? They have said that I should be nice when I say something.
No, I think we should allow you to say what you want to say now, because it's belly aching. It's belly aching now.
It's not.
I'm telling you, you are right on the path.
Can we
It's so belly aching.
Because I get it that they are spoiling for a fight. I don't have a problem with fighting the government, but can we come back to reality? Can we stop sitting in the clouds? Like as if there's something that is being smoked.
This thing is funny.
So in essence though, because I know there's a whole lot of stuff, we have trashed this, and it's not a story that ends today. In my opinion, I know that Dolupo will want to move on now. I'm just also saying that for one last minute, Labour should try and be as realistic as possible. I know that it's a bargaining chip at times. When you shoot for the moon, when you shoot for the stars, you probably get to the moon.
It's not moon.
But this one, you are not shooting. You are shooting intergalactical salary increase, and trust me, it will never happen. Even if they decide to start printing money,
it's going beyond.
Where are they going to get that kind of money?
It's not going to happen.
And the people who print money, they are not around anymore.
Yeah, because those ones were printing without any.
They're not around anymore.
Oh, they were printing without any backup. Now
I've not mentioned.
Those ones were printing money. They were using billions to print millions.
It was abracadabra. It was magical.
It was a lot of money.
We're all saying the same thing.
You're saying the same
I don't know what you people are talking about.
Okay.
Anyway, just wanted to put it out that the president, as it is the president's first year anniversaries, at these administration's anniversary is supposed to, celebrations or whatever activities or events are supposed to start tomorrow, May 22nd, with a World Press Conference. So.
Honestly, regardless of how things have turned out, they say you either look at it as half full or half empty. I don't expect any elaborate celebrations, looking at what we have been through as a people, and especially, in the area of cost, the cost of living and which is directly tied to the policy of
engaged by economy,
of removing the subsidies and floating the dollar.
Engaged by the economy.
Now, looking at the bigger picture, these are things that should be done. You cannot be completely reliant on subsidies, but you also cannot remove subsidies completely. In Siena climes, they actually subsidize food production. Maybe those are the places where they should concentrate on, because, for instance, if the farmers get all this support that we hear they are planning for them and they are going to get, the cost of food production should come down. And the cost of transporting, the food from the harvest point to the market, should also come down. And also look at the areas of storage, building silos and all of that. In essence, all I'm trying to say is that we should more, if I was in this government and maybe I was involved with the planning and strategy, what we should do is say that in 1 year, these are the things that we have done. as against saying you want to go and cut flower somewhere or you want to put cake in one place. Nobody wants to see any celebration. I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of Nigerians.
Let's know what it
no
is.
matter.
Let's know where we're coming from, where we are, and where we're going.
Please focus more on letting, like for instance, this is a good time for all the ministers. Lagos State did something like this 2 weeks ago, and all the commissioners came to a forum in Ikeja there, and they were really now
talking about the things they had done, the achievements.
That's the kind of thing I want to see at the federal level.
That's it. I like where you're hanging on, Sola, because honestly, sincerely, I looked at the government and I stood back a little while. I think, yeah, fine, we have a listening government too. You have a listening government. Listen, let me track it up. The student loan thing, you remember, at this table, we looked at the first paper. It was on this table. We said, this thing is just so superfluous. There's something wrong about this. Yeah. And before we could say Jack Robinson, right?
Yeah.
They saw it and pulled it down.
True.
The House members also saw it and said, no, take it back and But then at every point, they never argued. They took it back and back until we got to where we are at the moment. The most important thing that's touching my heart at the moment, the cyber law or something. Yeah. Okay, we fought it here. This is bad now. Time this thing properly. Not when people can't have money to buy food, to eat what they want to buy. It was even the period of the fuel scarcity. Okay, everything was jumped together. And is anybody listening? All of a sudden, not only have they listened, the central bank, I heard, I'm sure, they have even pulled off the circular.
The memo, yeah.
Memo that part. I think it's a listening government, okay. And we all agree here, Oga, when it comes to celebration, it's not for red carpeting situations. It's for us to sit back and take a stock of what each ministry has done. Each ministry has done. And let them talk one by one. This is what we have done. They open the portal that says, okay, assess the ministries or something. Yeah. I'm sorry, I've not been on it. Okay,
neither have I.
So I don't know.
Maybe it's time to check those things out.
It's time to check those things out. People need to get involved in this thing.
Put it out there. Anyway, just wanted to also put something very interesting, something controversial that happened a few years ago. Looks like Kano State. It's coming from Kano State. Remember there was a law by the Kano State House of Assembly that divided the Emirates.
Okay.
So that now finally led to the dethroning of the Emir of Kano then. Now
Sanusi Lamido
Assembly, yes. Okay.
Now the Kano State government the Kano State House of Assembly have now agreed to revisit that law. And that it probably needs some amendment. So maybe some kings are going to be dethroned. Maybe some people are going to be collapsed.
Are you sure they're going to backdate it? Are you sure?
It's not about backdating.
It's not about backdating. If they're going to recollapse the Kano Emirate,
then some people will lose their seats.
Some people will have to lose their seats. Some people will not become emirs anymore.
What the former governor Ganduje did was to decentralize and more or less water down the influence of one particular emir by empowering other emirs. That's what he did. In clear terms, we can see it. That's what happened. He explained why he did it. We get that. It's all right. No problem. Nobody's talking about that. But this has always been my problem with the way traditional institutions are being messed with by government. Government has the power to do anything. From the time when I found out as a very young man that as an Oba, you need a governor's consent to be Oba.
To be Oba.
You need your staff of office
what do you call it?
Must be presented to you.
It's almost
and
like
all of that. Then they're also
a guarantor.
People also forget that Obas are they're on a salary.
Yes, sure.
They have to be paid salary and all of that. So when they are basically he that pays the piper dictates the tune. So for me, it hurts me that some of these traditional institutions, I hold them in high esteem.
And politics has
its way of messing things up.
Yes.
Because anything that this governor does now, the current governor of Kano, he will get away with it. He's backed by law. But guess what happens?
Our new governor
if he gets kicked out, and another come, he will still do what he wants. And there's going to be this back and forth, especially in Kano. Salusi, Lamido Salusi is not the only member of his family that lost his seat. Historically, go back and you see that I think it happened to his grandfather too or something. So you start to look at it and I don't know, man. I just wish. I remember many years ago, I think it was in the 80s, where a president of Nigeria suspended the Oni of Ife.
Yeah.
And I think one other emir, was it the Sultan also? They were suspended by the president. Now, this is the Oni that we owe the night, but a military president, he doesn't care. He don't care.
It's very interesting.
It's a deep one, though.
Yeah, that's it for me. The way that the government of the day interferes with a system, it just really waters down those things. That's where I see. But we'll see where all that is going to. Anyway, just wanted to backtrack with something that we had talked about earlier, and we know that NELFUND, the student loan portal, is supposed to be open on Friday. I'm actually waiting for it as well because I want to see. Not like I have school to go now.
Dolupo wants to collect student loan.
No.
Then
to collect student loan means that you want to go to school. I don't want to go to school.
It's only
Tokunbo will be a lecturer.
So students and federal schools.
Who say I cannot go to federal school?
Federal University of Tokunbo.
Okay.
The only problem is
Tokunbo can be the lawyer. Lecturer.
I'm not in the mood to go to school at the moment.
Tokunbo will be your lecturer.
No.
Why?
Tokunbo is a good teacher.
I'm not saying she's not a good teacher.
No. She does. The disciplines are different. So I cannot lecture sciences.
Teacher, don't teach me nonsense.
I cannot lecture sciences.
You are singing for that song.
Even if you say it, I will understand that it's coming from him, not from you. So you are excused. Don't worry.
I didn't say that.
Teacher, don't teach me nonsense.
I just don't want to go to school. Is it by force?
Teacher.
Anyway.
You don't want to go to school again?
No, not at the moment.
Your name.
I just want money. Anyway, the Nigeria Educational Loan Fund has said that about 1.2 million students from federal universities are set to benefit from the pilot phase of the student loan scheme. This was said by the CEO of the NELFUND. I really, honestly, am looking forward to going to that portal on Friday and it opening. It would do a lot, especially now that school fees are really, really exorbitant.
One thing that I'm expecting to happen, and it's a good bad thing, is that I'm expecting that website to crash.
Because people that need it and people that don't need it.
And if it crashes, it will show that couldn't they have built a bigger, stronger website? But the good thing about the bad thing is that it shows that there are a lot of people, regardless of their political affiliations or that whatever, that actually need this loan.
Or maybe some people just want to test it out like me.
Yes, of course. No, it will accommodate your curiosity. He doesn't say anything.
Well, I'm just expecting
no, I'm going back there because that's what I'm saying. Because you said it, and I believe that I want to believe that they have actually mastered it and they are ready to go.
I really hope.
Because one step forward on this and 10 steps back again,
it won't be
it's
nice.
Not looking good.
The only thing for me also is that
nice.
I hope that it works really well. Yes. But I'm really also urging people, if you don't need it. Because this takes me back to, remember there was an app that the police had set up and people just went there to be, and it was just bastardized. If you don't need it. I said that I was going to go on it just to open it to see if it works. Okay, does it work? Because honestly, I'm sure that there will be a lot of other information. There will be some documents you have to submit that obviously I'm not in school, I do not have. So, but the honest truth is that if you do not need to be on it, don't block the system with your nonsense. Let's know what we are doing. Thank you very much. I'm just saying. Don't let people that actually need it, because I was shocked. I was telling you a few weeks ago when I was talking to someone and they were like that UI school fees is about 400,000. What? Can we wall up? How? Like it let's maybe like 10, 12 years ago, school fees was like 20-something thousand.
Yeah, but
that's ridiculous.
And
the honest truth is that stuff is more expensive these days. How much are people making? And I used to say, like, UI was one of the cheapest schools. Even places like OAU that probably had like one of the cheapest school fees around. Their school fees too are going into hundreds of thousands. And at times, those are the reasons why some people actually go to those schools, because they're way cheaper.
Yeah.
So if they're not as cheap anymore, what's the point? So at least if people can actually get funds to just not pay fees, to also get by, I think that is going to do a lot.
Yeah, government also needs to do one or two things. Shola talked about when we're talking about judiciary and stuff that government needed to have done to cushion the effect of ease things for judges on the judiciary. I would also look back at a point in time when you passed out of school, your car was waiting for you as a medical student. No, there's something I'm driving at. Government had time to do that. Over time, over years, we lost respect for our teachers and lecturers. There was something waiting for them at every point in time. Now, when we lose all those kinds of, I call them respect for me, things to make the work easier for them, for people who are teaching and imparting, it's no joke. I think we've talked about it here. If government looks at those things and decides to go behind and do some things for them, okay? It just could settle a lot of differences. Military era, it wasn't palatable at all. Things were just rocked down.
Anyway, so we'll see whether it's going to. Still talking about education, the Ekiti State Polytechnic, located in Ishon, Ekiti, has now introduced a dress code prohibiting male students from wearing earrings. The school has placed a ban on tattooed jeans, rubber slippers, sagging trousers, hair coloring, and other similar practices are for all students in the school. Now,
tattoo is not on the list.
Yeah, and tattoos. So, wearing tattered and over casual jeans, rubber slippers, sagging trousers, body tattoos. But if I wear clothes with you, how do you know? Anyway, earrings for males, hair coloring, and other similar practices are strictly prohibited on campus and would result in serious sanctions.
Ekiti, right?
Yes.
One of the reasons why I felt this was big enough to be a headline is that it's becoming a trend among
schools, yes.
Tertiary institutions in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I know the school in Ibadan also did it a few months ago. And I think one in Lagos had mentioned it at one time and all of that. On that entire list of things that this school has banned, in my personal opinion as Sola Rogers, the only thing that I will applaud there with all sense of joy and vigor is the ban on sagging. You wear your boxers, then you drag your trouser down so that your boxers will show. And I went to a car wash once, and the guys at the car wash, all of them, were sagging on their shorts. Like, they were wearing two boxers. Like, okay, you're more or less naked, so why are you sagging? Do you understand? So sagging for me is disgusting, it's dirty, and I do not like it. However, I do not think that you should go all out and ban people who have tattoos. Tattoos might have become a modern fad now, but some of our mothers have tattoos. It's the truth. It was a traditional thing. It was a Yoruba thing going up, And I know that some other parts of Nigeria, they also have things that are similar to it. The lali might not be a permanent one, but it's a form of
tattoo. So, hold on. Peterman said, so they want to be a glorified secondary school. Dolupo, defend your people, low.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Infertilizing grown adults. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. You see, I did see that comment, and I was just speaking my mind. I don't think you should look. if someone tints their hair and they still have time to come to class and pass their exams, please leave them alone. The only part that I like on this their list is the sagging. I detest that thing.
I think that
passion.
Male earrings.
I don't have a problem with male earrings.
Honestly,
historically, I'm going to round up, sorry, so that you guys can talk. I'm sorry. Historically, earrings were worn by men before women many years ago in Africa.
So
no, Tokunbo, if you have something contrary, please say it.
I'm not talking about contrary things. I'm talking about
you were about to.
No, you read me. Don't
Please,
don't talk for me.
Okay, so Bukola Medubi says sagging was for prisoners.
No.
In
Sagging
the US,
for what?
Sagging was for prisoners in the
In
US
the United
because they didn't give them
States.
the right size
Good.
of bottom.
That's true.
Now, for me,
that's true.
I think that sagging makes you look very unreasonable. It kind of, you don't look put together.
You're insane.
Personally, no. I said it just doesn't make you look like a serious human being.
Okay.
That's what I feel. Also, to a large extent, I'm not sure that I'm actually adverse to hair coloring. I'm not.
You can't.
What's that supposed to be?
There are videos of you on YouTube. You can't.
Of what?
With red hair, green hair, blue hair.
I don't know.
Green
Don't
hair.
go personal. Talk about
I
issues.
don't know about green hair.
Dolupo, talk
Anyway,
about issues.
so the honest truth is that at
Sola
times,
Rogers.
I think that being in a school environment, sometimes we also should know where to draw the line.
Exactly.
Okay, so I remember very well that, like, I don't know if they have it now. In UI, you really do not have dress codes. Yeah, there are no set out dress codes for anybody.
Then.
But your department, when you get to your department, they were talking about slippers. Like in the department that I graduated from, you can't wear slippers to class. You are supposed to dress to a certain level of formality. That's on your department. In fact, when you see some people dress, some people with dreads and some people with hair colors and all that, you're like, this person is that.
Usually creatives.
You almost always kind of know where everybody is. But even them, there is a limit to some things, which I feel that at times, as young students, a lot of young students at times do not know the limit. The honest truth is that you cannot come to class as a guy. You have like 3 colors of hair on your head. Be coming down. Do you understand? Like there are ways that you can do something. You will see people that have dreads and they will pack it neatly, looking neat. At least the list is look neat. To a large extent, if you look neat at every point in time. Because honest truth is that you cannot sag and look neat. Let's be honest. You can't.
We have a comment again.
So Peterman says, even in the 80s, our students fully express themselves with their parents. They should go ban rag day there. I'll be shame on Ekiti States. I'm not even sure they do things like
they still do
rag day anymore.
Yeah, they still do.
They still do.
Okay,
never participated in that thing.
They still do rag day.
I just feel that
rag day was meant to be for a good cause.
Moderation. If there was a lot of moderation, a lot of these schools, because like he had said, in the past 1-2 years, we've seen a lot of schools across the country now banning a lot of things, having dress codes. They're wearing those things before. I'm sure that it gets to a point where a lot of these schools had to it had gone to a point where people had overdone it. That's where I'm coming from. Do I think it needs to be banned?
But these lecturers and these administrators all went to school in Nigeria. Most of them did. And they know what they did when they were in school. They know how they dressed. You understand? And maybe there's been a shift and people are not dressing as decent as they should. But that does not mean
you should
now go all the way out and make
I think that these days...
I like that thing that Peterman said about glorified secondary school.
Do I think that people have thrown caution to the wind?
Yeah.
Even girls, young girls these days, with the kind of things we wear.
Help us beg them.
Like,
okay.
I think that moderation.
When you said moderation, I have been, I won't use the word responsible. I've been part of a panel before where people were being interviewed for jobs, right? A few years ago. And we had a very smart kid in the room. Fantastic guy, okay? And all the questions he got right. Everything was right. He was so articulate. And on the scores, on the sheet of scoring them, okay, appearance, diction, communication skills, appearance, including what they wear to appear, was about 20 marks. A huge mark score. This guy was so good, really good. But he came in tattered jeans. I will never forget. I will never forget. And he also had an earring on, okay? And everything was just in perfection, but that was just it. His shirt was well ironed. He tucked the shirt in with the tattered jeans. So he came out almost like, if you sat down, you think it was okay, but he got up to work, he was. And after they all left, scores were brought together. When it comes to academics and presentation, he had it. All round, 5 of us scored. When it got to the appearance thing, they dropped it. And when they dropped it, one other lady came up, okay, took over the Hill scores. And I remember that was one of the 2 that said the guy must be given a chance. You see, what I think the schools are trying to do, okay, is to inculcate a habit of some orderliness, some way, some code around you, okay? Probably, and again, these schools are also responsible for what the kids turn out to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe in their thinking, right? But I want to say to them, it's not at even this level that we should begin to inculcate.
You should have been the primary,
from
secondary
the
school.
primary,
so that
secondary school. That is the truth.
Sorry, hold
for me.
on. BT616 says someone has to say it. This new regulation definitely came from some religious fanatics in leadership.
Oh, wow.
And what Gio with PhD. Maybe, but
I key into
but
what
I
you're
also
saying.
don't agree completely. Why
There's
I
a
said
lot of
so
them like
is
that.
there are a lot of them like that. I agree. In fact, a lot
I
of
respect it,
private universities, yes, but let's also not remove the fact that there is a lot of caution that has been thrown to the wind by young
people.
So you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater now.
Oh.
Like there should be a balance. For me, again, I went historical, and I was expecting Mr. Ojekunle to, counter it historically too, but apparently he's afraid of me, so he's dodging. And
okay,
Can I have more?
I have never.
where will I get it?
I have never worn earrings. I've never worn earrings before, but I'm not adverse to men who wear earrings. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it, because again, if you understand a little bit of your history, you don't have to always take what they tell you hook, line, and sinker. My mom has some markings on her hand, so you would say that, or maybe she wants to go and do a course in uni now, that she can't come because she has those markings on her hand. This is stuff that was actually done before she grew up. Do you understand? Look, let us not throw away our culture all on the altar of trying to be westernized. Men can wear earrings. There's no law against it. Where I stand, there's no law against men wearing earrings. There's no law against tattoos, as long as it's decent. It's not all those mad ones that do tattoo all over from head to toe. Not those ones. I'm saying,
the ones you're talking about, how do they look?
The mad ones, I call them mad.
I want to know what do
there's some very nice. I have seen
capture.
some. I have seen some.
I agree.
I have
There's
seen some
nice
amazing
ones. The guys,
looking tattoos.
The ones you're talking about.
There's a guy I know that will always wear short sleeves because he has this nice cross, the crucifix on his left arm. And on his right arm, he's my friend. On his right arm,
he's going to be one of the 10 million.
On his right arm,
I agree.
On his right arm,
I agree with
you. He has the Festac 77 head, and it's so beautiful.
You are missing it.
I'm not, sir.
For me,
I'm staying
I'm
on
agreeing
point.
with you. I'm saying that guy is just one of the 1 million.
No, I don't think he's one of the 1 million.
Let me explain this.
There are a lot of people that have tattoos that actually look nice.
Shola talked about tattoos for the older generation. I agree. Ask me what kind of tattoos they have.
Yes,
okay?
I agree.
Now, he talked about the ones that look ugly. He knows the difference. So I'm asking, the ones that look ugly, what exactly were they carrying? Some are extremely so scary. You know one thing I think we should understand is this. Give some kids an inch, they take a yard.
Oh, yes, I agree.
There's another comment.
There's nothing wrong, okay, in all of this for me, collectively. When you do things with moderation, you hit a good score with me.
That's what we're saying.
That's
what I'm saying.
The sad part is that...
That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's hit it with moderation.
You have a comment, Dolupo.
Okay, so there's a comment. Bukla Medibi says, recently a young man got a scholarship to study in America and was rejected at the American embassy because he plaited his hair and had earrings.
Yeah, it depends on the kind of scholarship he was going for.
What scholarship is he going
I remember that when I went to get my US visa, the last time I went, I actually wore this tattered jeans that everybody's talking about and a t-shirt. I saw people with suits and ties. There was one guy that wore his church dress and everything. All of them did not get visa. You see, it's me that wore scattered jeans that they gave.
So,
in fact, I saw the way a woman reacted to me when they told me to go outside to bring some documents that I had forgotten in the car. And they gave me a 30-minute window. And the woman acted over there and she was looking at me, sizing me up like, she started on full visa or she didn't collect.
Anyway, but so I think that
it's not. There's no other fast route to it. Of all places, it's not America that you will now be discriminating against.
Because sometimes it's not what you wear.
Who played their hair?
Sometimes it's not what you wear.
Yeah,
it's the personality. It's the person behind what you wear.
I don't feel that instead of making a blanket
because you call in suit and all.
Take for example.
For me,
I don't know about a lot of schools. I know a few schools. You're in faculty of law. You have to come to class in a white shirt,
standard
and a
now.
Black skirt.
You must wear your jacket.
Do you
understand?
Oh yeah, you
law
have
department.
To.
You
law
dress
department.
for the job that you want.
You have to.
It's part of their profession.
It's part of their profession. It is.
It's part of their profession.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
so
in each something now.
Department,
yes,
you can't go to law. Okay, you are in medicine. Take for example, one of the reasons why you won't do some crazy hair, not because it affects what you do, is because you can't have ward rounds and you have so much jewelry on you and so much, it could actually hinder what you're doing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So engineers, you get to work. There are a lot of things that you cannot do as an engineer. There's some, you can't wear slippers to to site. Just because. So those are the things that they inculcate from when you are in school.
Okay.
Because it's part of the profession.
They tell you.
Yes, you can't dress some type of way because it's not
fine.
It's even for safety reasons and all those things. So where I'm going in is that if they're really strongly about it, okay, you have a problem with the way a lot of people dress. Each department or faculty of education, of course, you cannot be a teacher and wear slippers and also go to work. Let them dress the way they are supposed to dress with their discipline. I think it solves all this drama of all these blanket statements that they make across board. Let everybody dress according to your department. Simple and short.
Okay.
It makes life easy. That's where I think. Do I think that people are moved on to there's throw caution to the wind? Oh my God. We see a lot of things. But when you come to class and you know that you are not allowed to wear such and such and such to your department, I think that just solves a lot of the problems. Okay, so Peterman says neurosurgery students wear dada and earrings here. No school dare caution those students. Cultural consideration, or you face civil rights lawsuits in America. Yes.
Word.
Yes, in America.
Word.
In Nigeria, it doesn't work like
America.
that. Word. I remember very well.
America.
I think I was in final year when I had a classmate one day that came to class. It was Friday. He was Muslim. He was going to the mosque after, and he had jalabia and palm slippers on. A lecturer had sent him back because you can't come to the department dressed like that. Nobody cares if it is Friday or not. When you're done, go back to your car.
And change your
And
dress.
change it. Do you understand? Same school, you will see theater art students with dreadlocks and nobody disturbed them. Absolutely nobody disturbed them. They had tattoos, they wore earrings to class. It was the way they expressed themselves. It was part of their whatever it is they were doing, and it was fine.
You know, dreadlocks also look back to history. People who were them way back, they were born with them. They had them way back.
People are still born with them.
Now, not they still born with them. Yeah, fine. But you mentioned something, Dolupo, in the opening statement about dreadlocks. You see some, you fall in love because you treat them well. You nurture them. Some. You see, look, it's the truth. Let's look at it. Some people just see somebody hold a particular style, and they fall in love, and they go.
Yeah,
and
I
begin
think
to
it's just moderation.
You need to be moderate about
but
these
and
things.
then you said something finally before we leave that matter is that it shouldn't be blanket statements from the university. Groom these children well to know what to do and when to do from the beginning, so that you're not forcing them.
I like to reiterate my point. Do not throw away your culture and tradition on the altar of westernization. Do not judge a book by its cover. Do not presume that everybody that has a tattoo and a dreadlock is a criminal or is a deviant.
True, Shola. Very true. We've said it. What you wear does not really portray.
Does not determine who you are. Exactly. So now, quickly before we go, going a bit to River State, where lawmakers, the new lawmakers in River State are now screening 8 commission-nominees today. 3 of them.
Illegality begets illegality
I don't know.
upon illegality. It is not possible.
Okay. So BT616 says,
script, yes.
Dolupo, please caution the 2 gentlemen. The only reason they're against dreads is because they're bald. Oh, ouch.
I am not against.
Ouch.
I am bald. I never said I was against dreadlocks.
No, I like the fun in this. No.
Said that.
But I'm bald. Yes, you're right.
I'm proudly bald, man.
But I'm not
I
against.
shave my hair by myself every week or 2 weeks.
By the way, I
Proudly
just did mine this morning.
Okay.
So it's shiny, right?
Anyway, yes, very shiny. So we're going back all the way to River State. And you were talking about illegality, about
Yes.
Mr. Fubara and Governor.
Thank you.
But he's still a Mr. now. Does he change the fact that he's Mr.?
Now he's a governor. He's a governor. He's
Okay.
Dolupo.
Bukola Bedusbi says no take Peter Man says Awapari. Oh wow.
What did Bukola say?
No take him.
No take what?
That you should not take the insults.
We should accept.
It's not insult. Akpari is Akpari. We don't have hair.
Anyway,
we got our scalp.
I'm going home.
Wait, Governor Fubara too is bald, Abi.
Excuse me.
What's that?
I just wanted to. It was just a simple question.
Is Wike not bald? Is Tinubu not bald?
Easy.
Is Peter Obi not bald? Is Atiku not bald?
This is a terrible bar today. What is the meaning
just
of
wanted
this
to say something. Anyway, Governor Asha said that 3 people are what's it called? They are screening 8.
I'm going to grow dread.
Remember that there's
I'm going to grow dread.
yeah.
I will grow it too.
Yeah.
That challenge. Leave this
You
man.
can grow dread, but it's not on your head.
Okay, at this point.
I said no.
I do. I have no words.
Rivers, please.
I have no words.
Let's do Rivers.
They said that they should
Move from rivers.
Whoever
is illegal, go somewhere else.
Why you
No, but it's nauseating.
It is nauseating. Anyway, quickly, let's just go through a few international stories. 1 person have died and several people are injured after a Singapore Airlines coming from the UK to Singapore made an emergency landing in Bangkok, and basically because of severe turbulence. It was really that bad. It's so sad. Also, 6 people confirmed dead after a vehicle slid off a ferry and plunge into the Nile River.
They must have been sitting in the vehicle. You know all those ferries that move cars from one end to the other.
It's pretty sad.
I'm assuming that's what happened. Yeah.
Quickly, a bit of football. Real Madrid's midfielder Toni Kroos is set to retire from football after Euro 2024.
Yeah, he says he's not playing for another club and he's not going to get a new contract.
Yes,
in Madrid,
he's not.
So he's leaving.
Is out. England's Euro 2024 squad has been released. Very interesting. There are a few people that are not there that you would usually. Two people that really stand out are Marcus Rashford and Jordan Henderson. Raheem Sterling is also not on that.
It is expected. A lot of new talent has come through, and the coach will pick what he feels he needs at the tournament.
So we'll see. That's another very interesting set. Oh, okay. So Bukola Medibi says, we'll miss you, Kroos. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think he's a fantastic
guy. His passes, the way he picks his passes and everything, amazing footballer.
Yeah. You know. Anyway, on that note, that is all we take today on the bar. Thank you for listening.
Can we sign out too?
Okay, please go ahead.
On behalf of all the Aquarius in the world, we are great.
We are great for the insults.
For the insults. But it's a challenge. I will grow it.
You are not grade 18.
Excuse me, in my head.
What are you growing?
Is it your grow?
Great where?
What are you growing?
What are you growing?
Is it your grow?
It's my grow. Leave it.
If I will
chuck
grow it in the eyes.
I will chuck him.
You grow it in the eyes.
I will chuck where?
Mr. T, if you grow that in, I will buy a house for you. House.
Let me see the deeds of the house first.
All right. Bye. At this point, I don't know what they are talking about anymore.
Bald is beautiful, Jerry. I want haters. Tell them.
You know the people that are bald. You already know.
I want haters.